Okay, how do I look, Tanner?
No, where do I put it?
Sorry, one second. It's covering the thing. No. A little lower, yeah.
Is it gonna look stupid?
If you can't see it, tell me.
Okay, good. I'm Henne. I'm transgender. Non-binary. I use they, them pronouns. And I'm gay. I've been gay for many years. I've been gay for like a long time. I know what the gay stuff is.
Okay.
It sounds like I'm trying to convince you. Like, I promise I'm gay. I promise I've been gay for so long. So basically, I really hate it when I introduce myself or when people find out that I'm non-binary or I changed my name or whatever and people automatically make it into a political thing. Like, I'll say, hey, I use they, them pronouns, and they will be like, oh, I love the gays, or they'll be like, oh, yeah, I love Bernie Sanders. And that sounds so crazy, but that's like actually happened to me, where people will be like, oh yeah, I'm a leftist too. And I'm like, I just told you my name. Like, even if I am a leftist, which I'll never say, it doesn't really matter because I'm just me, and I'm not trying to like go out every day and have people just be like, oh, this is your political standing, because it's not a political statement. I'm literally just existing. So that's something that makes me pretty upset on the daily. I just don't like it when people make assumptions about me, even if they are correct. I don't want to be perceived like that. Like, I'm just doing me. I'm just being myself. Like, this is my name. This is my pronouns. I'm not pushing an agenda. I promise. There's snow on my head.
Okay.
So a lot of times people will be like, when I say that I'm non-binary, it will be less like, oh, nice to meet you, this is who I am. It'll be like, oh, let's have a conversation about gender. When I wasn't trying to introduce that conversation, I was just trying to introduce myself. And like, I don't really want to get into that whole like controversy, even though, you know, I just really hate it. And it is kind of like, it's not being objectified, but it's kind of like they just want to talk about that whole debate of like if it's okay to be transgender and if what is non-binary. Like, even if it's people that know about it and they think it's cool or whatever, they still want to have a conversation about it. And I'm just like, be quiet. Can I swear? Okay. Shut the fuck up. Just like, say nice to meet you. Yeah, that's what I have to say. But also it's just frustrating, like, that's not the only thing about me. Like, my identity is surprisingly very little about me. Like, I like art, I like cooking, I have so many interests and passions and interesting things about me that are not just my gender. So like, it's very frustrating when people, like, it gets frustrating when the same people every day want to have a conversation about that with me in particular. A lot of people haven't even heard about being non-binary before, or like the only trans ideas that they've heard are like from like a joke in an old movie or something. You'd be surprised how little people know. Like, I've had people ask me like, I say like, I'm non-binary, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm totally supportive of that. And the next day they're like, hey, what the hell is non-binary? Like, what is that? And I'm like, well, first of all, you could have just Googled it. But second of all, I guess I'll tell you. And it's just like, it's just shocking. The school does not teach that. So unless your parents teach you that, or you outwardly go looking for that information, you're just not going to find it. And it kind of sucks. Because I'm really tired of feeling like it's my responsibility to educate people about like people ask me like, oh, well, why should we have Trans Visibility Day? Why should we have Pride Month? Why is this a thing why is being non-binary a thing? Like, why do trans people exist? And I want them to understand, because it's good for them to be educated and to like feel like more comfortable with that whole thing and be supportive to other trans people. But I also don't want to feel like it's my responsibility. Like, I don't want to have to be your teacher. That's not my job. I have other things I want to do in my day. And like, I want to help you understand, but to a certain extent, I have to just say, no, I'm not going to spend an hour sitting here talking to you about this and debating this with you, because I just want to exist without having my existence debated all the time. That's not my responsibility. The problem when you like boil boil them, don't boil them. That sounds so stupid. What's the right word for it? The problem when you reduce trans people to like just their gender or just them being trans is that makes them less human. Like, you're not humanizing people. And that's really dangerous, because that means that like they're an other that you can therefore abuse because they're not human, which isn't true. I want to go on record and say we are human. We're definitely not lizard people that don't feel the cold. We feel the cold. Can I be done? I'm freezing cold.